नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णभूतले श्रीमते वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे राम राम I firmly believe that what we have discussed in last class, none of you will remember that, or anyone by any chance.
जी धन्यवाद प्रणाम लास्ट क्लास
Prabhuji,
में
we will
जिसमें
try.
Huh?
प्रभु
We'll
जी
try, Prabhuji.
in the last class we talked about the karam yoga. I mean putting everything before the
That
Krishna
was
or
your
not taking
question.
any.
So your question you remember very nicely.
Yeah,
हरे
his
कृष्णा प्रभु
question
जी.
actually enlightened all of us.
Okay. Yes. So if you remember anything, please share with us little
Sure.
bit.
I think I let Bhaiya first continue and finish his thought,
Yeah,
then I
please,
will add.
Manishi, and you both of you, please share whatever you remember.
प्रभु जी we discussed about the karam yoga. That was
Mm-hmm.
to do all the activities or the activity to please Krishna or doing action in a mode of not looking forward to any proofs of that action. So you are in a stage of sannyasi and you are actually attached to Krishna. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, you are within the various roles of your life, but when you are depriving of yourself of the fruits of your actions, you are actually giving it to the Krishna, and in that sense, you are a sannyasi.
Yes. Wonderful. Yes. Anyone would like to add something?
Yeah, I think you also mentioned that there are different modes of transportation. Just like that, there are different religions. We see difference of opinion there, but the unifying thing is that amongst all the religions, how do we develop love for Supreme God? And wise people who are situated in Bhakti Yoga, they understand that Krishna should be pleased and we should do our actions towards that. So shortest way to reach Krishna and attain his prema is through Bhakti Yoga.
Mhm.
And as he also mentioned, real sannyasi is situated in transcendental, who is situated in the transcendental knowledge, understand that all the actions and results are for Krishna, not for us. Neither hurt nor happiness is developed through those actions, but it is all that I'm doing is for Krishna. And once we develop that, I think our body, possessions, environment, everything we understand belongs to Krishna, and that is the best way to engage in Krishna Bhakti.
Yes. And that is what is a real sannyasi is. A
Real
sannyasi
sannyasi.
is not by the dress. A sannyasi is defined by the activities that he performs. First thing is, a sannyasi is not one who renounces the thing because everything belongs to Krishna. So what is there for him to renounce? Only thing is, a sannyasi is engage everything in the service of Krishna. That is a true sannyasi. That is a true sannyasi. So that started this. We started with fifth chapter with the question or confusion that Arjuna present in the front of Krishna, and then further Krishna is explaining who is a real sannyasi, what a sannyasi is supposed to do. Na dveshati na kanshati. He neither hates nor he hanker or desire for the material activities or material things. He is engaged in the service of Krishna. That is what is a real sannyasi. And later on in the fourth verse, Krishna he was mentioning that all the yogas, whether it may be karma yoga, sankhya yoga, or bhakti yoga, all culminates or the result of the both is same, leads to same. Now further Krishna is going to talk about this in the fifth verse that we are going to take up today. So I'll just pull up Bhagavad Gita. Verse number 5th. So all of you please join me in chanting the shloka. Yat sankhe prapyate sthanam
यत्सङ्ख्ये प्राप्यते स्थानं
tad yogerapi gamyate
तज्जगिरोऽपि गम्यते
ekam sankyam cha yogyam cha
एकं
yaha pashyati sa pashyati. Yes, anyone would like to chant the shloka?
यत्सङ्ख्ये प्राप्यते स्थानं तज्जगिरोऽपि गम्यते एकं सङ्ख्यं च जोगं च जः पश्यति स पश्यति
Yes, anyone else?
यत् साङ्ख्यया प्राप्यते स्थानं तद् योगैरपि गम्यते एकं साङ्ख्यं च योगं च या पश्यति सा पश्यति.
Wonderful. Yes, someone else?
यत् सांख्ये प्राप्यते स्थानं तद् योगैरपि गम्यते एकं सांख्यं च योगं च ये या पश्यति स पश्यति.
Wonderful. Yes, someone else? All right, we'll read the translation.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yeah, please.
यत् सांख्ये प्राप्यते स्थानं तद् योगैर् अपि गम्यते एकं सांख्यं च योगं च ये पश्यति स पश्यति.
Anyone else? All right, we'll read the translation. One who knows that the position reached by the means of renunciation can also be attained by works in devotional service, and who therefore sees the path of works and path of renunciation are one, sees things as they are. So here, Krishna is making a sort of conclusion that he is mentioning, therefore, one who sees the path of work and path of renunciation are one, sees things, yaha pashyati sa pashyati. He sees the things as they are. Two things Krishna has brought out here: work in devotion, and second thing is path of renunciation. So we will understand this in detail. First we'll read the purport, then we'll understand in detail. The real purpose of philosophical research is to find out the ultimate goal of life. The ultimate goal of life is self-realization. There is no difference between the conclusion reached by two processes. By Sankhya philosophical research, one comes to the conclusion that the living entity is not a part and parcel of the material world, but of the Supreme. This we discussed in the last session itself, that how this Sankhya philosophy helps an individual to understand the conclusion that ultimate goal of the life is that Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. By this analytical knowledge, one understands that he is not part of this material world. He does not belong to this material world. Rather, he belongs to that Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the goal of Sankhya Yoga that we understood in previous verse. Same thing is mentioned in purport. And that same thing Krishna brings out in chapter number 7. Bhunam janmanam ante gyan manmam prapadyante vasudevam sarvamiti sahamatmasu durlabha. After taking many births, Bhunam janmanam ante means so many births. There is no end to it. Millions and billions of births, after taking so many such births, Bonam Janmanamante Gyanvan Mam Prapadyante. After acquiring lot of knowledge, one comes to this conclusion. What conclusion? Vasudevam Sarvamiti. Vasudeva Krishna is all in all. He is the origin, He is the end, He is the beginning, He is the end, He is the middle. Everything is Vasudeva Krishna. Vasudevam Sarvamiti Dham Atma Sudurlabha. Such a living entity, such a soul, such a Atma is very, very durlabha, is very, very rare. It's very, very rare. This is what Krishna is mentioning. So this, after acquiring lot of knowledge, we come to an understanding that Krishna is everything. And when we come to such understanding, we can surrender to Krishna. We can surrender to Krishna. If we don't know about Krishna, who Krishna is, we will not be able to surrender to Him. Right? Suppose some person is there in front of him. He is a illiterate person, does not very much familiar with the social world and in general things. He is just a resident of India. Very simple person, always just on his work. He is just focused on his work. He has no relationship with the external world or such things. So one day what happened? In front of him, he encountered, suppose, President of India or Prime Minister of India. He is not able to recognize them. He don't know because he has not seen photo, images or look or appearance of President or Prime Minister. So he may treat them very casually. But the moment he understands that, oh, this is the Prime Minister of India, President of India, immediately what will happen? He will treat them very nicely. His awe and reverence, his respect for that person who is standing in front of him will go to a next level. Will go to the next level. So that's why after acquiring this knowledge is an instrument for us to progress in bhakti, to surrender to Krishna. And this knowledge is easily available for all of us by the mercy of Prabhupada. Otherwise, if we see, to gather this knowledge or to acquire this knowledge was not at all easy. If you have to understand Sanskrit, there used to be a study of grammar first. Basics, Sanskrit, just like when you start studying, you get familiar with the alphabets, then it's one letter words, few letter words, like 3-4 letter words, just like A for apple you learn, B for boy you learn, like that you learn all the alphabets. Then gradually you start learning, forming a word, then from word, sentence, then grammar, all such things. So same way to learn basic Sanskrit so that you can touch the Vedas or the scriptures. It takes minimum 12 years just to get familiar with the Sanskrit. And after that, Sanskrit is such a contextual language. It is very, very tough to understand what is the meaning of this particular word in this context. Is very tough. Entire meaning can change the word is not put as per the context, entire meaning will change. But all that, if we see very beautifully, Prabhupada has brought out to the entire world, so that all of us can be benefited and all of us can know who Krishna is and we can take his shelter. Just in one life, we can reach to Krishna. Otherwise, Krishna himself is telling, Bhunam Janmanam Ante, it takes many, many lives. That is the mercy of a pure devotee. That is the mercy of a devotee like Srila Prabhupada, who has come here just to give this knowledge to all of us. To read further. Consequently, the spirit soul has nothing to do with the material world. His action must be in some relation with the Supreme. So, directly or indirectly, all of his actions should be in relationship with Krishna. When he acts in such a way, then what happens? Even though he is in material world, he has no relationship with the material world. He has a relationship with Krishna. He is completely situated on a spiritual platform. He is liberated. He is a Jivan Mukta. He is a Jivan Mukta. So that kind of Vairagya is considered to be the highest level of Vairagya. Yukta Vairagya Uchate. Nirbandha Sambandha Krishna Yukta Vairagya Uchate. Nirbandha Sambandha Krishna, you perform all your actions or whatever you do in relationship, Sambandha means in relationship with Krishna, and that Vairagya, that renunciation is of highest level of renunciation. And there is one more Vairagya known as Markata Vairagya. Markata Vairagya means is like or Samshana Vairagya is also known as Samshana Vairagya. Just like why Samshana Vairagya? When people, somebody suppose leaves the body, and when they take that person to the Samshan or a crematorium ground to perform the final rites. So that point of time, when people they are talking to each other, discussing, what do they discuss is, oh, he was such a nice person. He did so many good things in his life, this and that, good family, so this, all this discussion comes. But at the end, he cannot carry anything. Everything is useless. This entire world is useless. We are, we are engaged in Maya. Maya jal mein phase hue hain. Better leave everything. Serve Krishna. Do bhakti. All these things has no meaning. Sab chodo. Ye sab Maya hai. Like that they discuss. But when they come out of that crematorium ground or that samshana, they forget everything. Oh, let us go to watch movie. Let us do this. Let us do that. They forget everything. Again, they get entrapped by Maya. And this is what Yudhishthir Maharaj is mentioning. That this is the most astonishing thing in the entire world. Yani yani bhutani yamalyam gachati. Each and every living entity is going to Yamalya, is going to the abode of that Yamraj. Sthavram, those who are remaining, they are thinking, I will not go, I will remain permanent. He thinks, I'll not die, I'll not go to Yamalya. Like that, he is leading his life. And that is what is the most astonishing thing. And this most astonishing thing is because of the influence of Maya or the illusory energy of the Lord. So how does this Maya act upon the Jiva? It is not like, people, if you ask people, are you in Maya? If they have no knowledge of Krishna consciousness, this and that, they will say, no, we are not in Maya. Just like if you ask a thief, you are the thief, he will not accept that he is a thief. He will not accept that. Same way, a person who is in Maya will not accept he is in Maya. And that is the beauty of Maya. One will not be able to understand that I am in Maya, but the fact is, he is in Maya. We all are in Maya. Just like, I'll narrate one story. There was one village, and in that village, now and then, there was attack of boars, jungli sugar hote hain, wild boars. They used to attack, and they take away all the eatable items, whatever they could find in the paddy fields, in the field, whatever as yield is there, all that they eat on ration shops and all in the houses, whatever is eatable and all those things, they will come in a group, they will attack, and they will take away all the eatable items. Sometimes that is causing problem to the people who are residing there. They are also in problem. Because of that, they are also struggling. So like that, there was a chaos in the entire village. There was a chaos. So in a village, there is a panchayat is there, in which some intelligent people are there who takes various decisions regarding village, all that thing. So these people, they are trying to implement various ways and schemes to protect the entire village from these boars. But all their attempts are like utterly failed. They fail in all their attempts. They are not able to control, they are not able to protect, they are not able to capture these boars. They are completely helpless. Nothing is happening. But in that village, there was one simple old man. He was quite intelligent. He was simple. So everyone thought, let us go and once consider that person, take his advice. So all of them, they approached, and these group of intelligent people, they were like, we are not able to do. We are the most intelligent people of this entire village. We all together are not able to do what he will do. But nonetheless, they all went together to seek some advice and guidance how to get rid of these boars. So this old man, what he said, do one thing, all of you gather some eatables, some nice eatable items, rice, this and that, whatever that boar eats, collect all those items in empty field, keep there. And they were like, this old man has lost his intelligence. Nothing will happen by doing that. But nonetheless, they followed his advice and they collected all the items and they kept it that an empty field, because they have no option now. They have no scheme or they have no idea how to get rid of these boars. So they are forced to listen to the advice of this old man. All of them, they kept the items there. So this time all the boars, they came to the field and they were enjoying these eatables. Again, after some time, again he said, again you go and keep the eatable items. So first time boars, when they came, they were a little reluctant because they found the food very easily. Very easily they found it. They were quite reluctant. So this time, even though they were reluctant, this time they went. This time also they found the food very easily. So they were quite comfortable. Third time, again they went, and this time they were completely confident. All the boars came, they were completely confident and they were relaxed. They simply came and enjoyed the feast. Then fifth time, that old man told, now do one thing. Erect the poles in the field. Make a boundary with the poles. So they made the boundary with the poles. And keep the food item in the center. They kept the food items in the center, erected the poles as per the guidance of this old man. So boars came, so all poles and all are there, but they were not as much, bothered about the poles because they were quite confident that this food is for us. So they came and enjoyed the food. After 2-3 times, old man told, now do one thing. Do the fencing of the entire field. Do the fencing of the entire field. Place the wire in the entire field. That fencing wire is there. So do the fencing. They did the fencing of the field. Again kept the eatables. Again boar came. They enjoyed the feast and they left. Like that 2-3 times again passed. After that, this old man told, now you do one thing. You keep a gate. Keep a gate, close that remaining portion of the field with a gate. So when boar comes, you please open the door, open the gate, and let boar comes inside and have the food. So this time they placed the food. Boar came, they opened the door, that gate, and they went inside. All the boars, they went inside, they enjoyed the food, and from the outside, this old man, he closed the gate. Now all the boars, they are entrapped in one field. Even though it took a time, but they were all entrapped into one field. Same way, Maya entraps a living entity into this material world with various schemes in such a way that living entity will not come to know that he is in Maya. To understand that a person is in Maya, one has to take the help. From the scriptures to understand the thing. Or suppose, if we just try to visualize, I request all of you to try to visualize this thing. Suppose 50 families are there. Families, I am telling, 50 families are there, and all those families have been imprisoned. They have been imprisoned into a jail or prison house. Not individuals, 50 families. So those 50 families, they have their kids. Children are there. Children, they grow up. They marry among themselves. And they are in jail. Even the administration of the jail, apart from 1 or 2 people, all are managed by this family, just like in jail. If you see, I hope none of you have got chance to experience this, but through movies or so you might have seen that in the jail, people, they themselves do all the activities. They do the cooking, they do the serving, they do their own washing the clothes, gardening. Everything is managed by themselves. So now these 50 families are only managing everything in the jail, in the entire jail. Now their kids has grown up, they marry among themselves. Some families that they marry, they are managing. Now next generation has come, like that some 10-20 generations has come. So now for these 50 families, after 10-20 generations, now this jail is all in all. Jail is not a small but quite big place where everything is available. They are growing their own food stuff and all those things. For them, this is the most pleasing place that exists in the world. Whatever they have heard about the world is this jail only. So even though they are in jail, after 10, 20, 50 generations, they'll not try to escape from the jail. Because they know everything is going so well. Why we have to escape all these things? Why we have to do? They'll not do that. They'll not do that. So they will forget the entire outside world, that some world is existing outside these boundaries, this jail. They forget that. And they will remain happily inside this jail itself. Same way, if we don't have the knowledge of the scriptures, or we don't read the scriptures, which help us to understand the reality of this existence, the reality of who we are, the reality about the Supreme Lord, will remain in Maya and will think we are the most happiest person in this world, and will remain like that. Or we, even though we are not happy, we will try to make this world with adjustment in such a way to be the most happiest place. Just like Prabhupada says one thing, this world, material world, is like a toilet, like a washroom. Right? Like in toilet or washroom, you don't want to stay for a long time. You want to finish off the things, finish off your work as early as possible and want to come out of it. Right? Same way, this world is like this, Prabhupada is saying. But nowadays, what is our tendency? Even washroom also we are making very luxurious in such a way. We want to spend more and more time. We want to sit there only. We want to read the newspaper. We want to, watch reels, mobile phone. Nice designer tiles are there. This is there. That is there. You simply want to spend more and more time in washroom because it helps us to disconnect with the entire world. Right? So that is today's mentality. Otherwise, washroom, if you see, no one wants to spend time in washrooms or toilet. They want to finish off their work and they want to come out of it. Same way, material world is like that. How much ever adjustment we may try to make, ultimate solution is you have to come out of it. You have to come out of it. Otherwise, we will get entrapped here and it will be very difficult to fulfill the goal or mission of this human form of life, or to do justice to this human form of life. Just like one experiment was performed on the frogs. So these scientists, what they did, they placed a frog in a water pan. Water is there in that pan, and now they are heating that pan so that temperature of the water is increasing. So gradually from room temperature, water is coming to 30 degrees, 40 degrees, 50 degrees. So that frog is trying to adapt. Frog is basically, if you see, is a cold-blooded animal. Means he likes to stay in colder places, not in hot places. But water temperature is rising, he is trying to adjust himself. So what happened? When water started boiling, this frog who is making adjustment, he died. He died. Whereas one more pan this scientist took, and they boiled the water first, and then they put a frog into that boiling water. Immediately that frog jumped out of this boiling water and saved his life. 2 pans, 1 pan, frog died because he was making adjustments. Another pan, frog immediately he understood this is boiling water, he jumped out of that boiling water. So same way, we have to understand how much adjustment we may try to make in this material world, we will be not successful, we will not be able to attain any success in this material world. Only success is to go back to our original abode, that is abode of Krishna, that is Vaikuntha. We have to reach back to that Supreme Personality of Godhead, back to home, back to Godhead. That is the only solution. But under the influence of Maya, we try to make adjustments in such a way that adjustment itself becomes a noose around our neck. That itself becomes a noose around our neck. So that is something that we have to understand. The only solution in this material world is to take shelter of Krishna. We'll read further. When he acts in Krishna consciousness, he is actually in his constitutional position. In the first process of Sankhya Yoga, one has to become detached from matter, and in devotional yoga process, one has to attach himself to work of Krishna. Actually, both processes are the same, although superficially one process appears to involve detachment, another process appears to involve attachment. However, detachment from matter and attachment to Krishna are the one and the same. One who can see these things sees the things as they are. Suppose in a family, you can relate to this very easily because most of you might be having kids or have raised the kids, so you can relate to it very easily. So in a family, 2 kids are there. One kid is very, very naughty. He create all kind of ruckus. Sometimes difficult to handle. Even sometimes you get headache by his actions, by his activities that he or she may perform or does. You get a lot of headache. Oh, very tough to handle this child like this. You might have experienced, some of you might have experienced if you are lucky. So what you will do to such a naughty child? You will tell, you sit aside, don't do anything. If you ask that child to do anything, uh, you will think, why I have asked. I myself is fool that I have asked him to do something. Like that you will do. So you will not ask anything from that child to do something, right? Do this work, that work. You will not ask. You will tell, you better you keep aside. You just sit there silently. Don't do anything. Whereas if you are more lucky, then you have got a nice child, very sincere child who listens to you, who follow your instruction, very sober child, simple child, which is very very rare. Just like this bhakti is very very rare to find. So such child is also very very rare to find nowadays. So such child you are blessed with. He listens to you. He follows your instructions. So whatever you ask to do, suppose you want a glass of water, that child brings a glass of water for you. Everything he performs. So he is doing that for you. What you will do with that child? You will engage him more and more in household work. You will, teach him various things, various skills. You will take him to the market, and lot of such activities you will engage him.
You could bring some extra ketchup and plate. Go bring
You will
more
engage.
plate. The plate. It's only 2. We are 3 people. Go bring this.
So you will engage him such activities, meaningful activities. So same way, here Krishna has mentioned 2 things. One is renunciation. Second thing is working devotional service. People, those for them to do work or to have a simple mindset or something like that, which is very very tough to do, for them this path of renunciation is better than doing any other kind of yoga. Whereas a person who is a sober person, simple person, for him work in devotion or working for Krishna, for the pleasure of Krishna, is very easy, is the highest thing to perform or do. Right? So that is the difference. Even though end result is same in a way, but it depends upon the nature of that jiva, what kind of nature he is having. No doubt, when one performs, because Prabhupada, he has, given a variety of engagement in Krishna consciousness, variety of activities he has given to the world, to the masses. If you are not finding this to be interesting, you do that thing. If you don't do this, you do another thing. So, all the people, they can simply act for the pleasure of Krishna. And very swiftly they can make progress, advancement, and they can go back to Godhead. They can go back to home, back to Godhead. Right? Move to the next verse. Sanyasastu mahabhaho dukam apatam yogataha yoga yukto manirbrahma nachirena digacchati. Translation: unless one is engaged in devotional service of the Lord, mere renunciation of activities cannot make one happy. The sages, purified by work of devotion, and achieve the supreme without delay. Chirena adhigacchati. Chirena means very quickly, very swiftly. Adhigacchati means reaches. So here Krishna is again making a sort of conclusion he is making. What is that? Mere renunciation of activities cannot make one happy. Just renouncing the things will not make you happy. One has to come to this understanding. Everything belongs to Krishna, and he has to engage all the resources, all his actions, all his words, all his thoughts, all his actions in the service of Krishna, and by that he will attain the happiness. So coming back to our analogy, the child who is very naughty, I am hoping all of you are very lucky to have such naughty child in your family, or you might have experienced in your life. So when you ask this child, because I remember few of my incidents in my life, because I was also very naughty. I used to, create a lot of ruckus or nuisance when I used to visit some relative or somebody. So what they used to do. I remember once my cousin Mama marriage was there. Must be around 25 years back, 25 years back. I was very, very young. I was a kid. So his marriage was there, and we were all, in the marriage. All the family members, all relatives, they come together, they stay, and all those things. So they had made an arrangement for all of us to stay in a nearby house, because those days nearby some neighbors and all, they used to make arrangements for the relatives to stay and all those things, or some empty house is there, so they used to, okay, you please utilize for your marriage. So I remember that new house was there, and they made our arrangement to stay there or for some work or some storehouse. I don't know, but they made some arrangement. I went there. I was small, very young. So with my cousin brothers, they were also there. So we found thermocol was there, thermocol sheets, no? Thermocol, that foam was there, thermocol foam. So to play with thermocol is a different kind of fun itself. So we were playing with that thermocol sheets. So that sheet itself, sheet is made of granules. If you see, that sheet is made of thermocol granules. So we converted entire sheet into those granules by rubbing with each other. You can easily make that thermocol sheet back to the granules. So we made that entire thermocol sheet back to the granules, an entire house, everywhere these granules are, just scattered or just, here they are lying. So, and it is very tough to clean these thermocol granules now. If you try to wipe with a broomstick, as soon as little bit of, a blow of air is there, again they will just go here and there. So it's very tough to clean also now. So next day, they were like, what you have done? Like 2-3 of us, small kids, everyone is like, what you have done to that house? It's tough to clean, nothing is happening. Somebody has given to us, what you are doing? It is another person home. You have simply, all these things, they are, scolding us. So they were like, better you don't do anything, you just sit silently there. So like that, when you asked, no, don't do anything, sit silently there, you feel very sad. You feel very sad, you cannot participate, you don't feel very joyful, you don't feel very happy. You just sit there. You just sit there, right? And when you sit there, you have no action to perform, no activity to do. You feel sort of morose also after some time. You get bored, all that. So same way Krishna is mentioning here, mere renunciation of activities cannot make one happy. But when work of devotion is performed, you will not only attain supreme, but you will experience the happiness. And that is what Krishna is mentioning in 18th chapter also. What is that verse? I just forgot. I'll just open up. 18.50. Na sochate na kanchati. ब्रह्म भूत प्रसन्न आत्मा न सोचते न कांक्षति समा सर्वेषु कालेषु मत भक्ति लभते परम. So here Krishna is telling one who is situated transcendently, he neither laments nor desires, he simply experiences the happiness. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma, he is happy. Prasannatma, he is happy. Susukham Kartavyam, and in Bhagavatam it comes Susukham Kartavyam. This devotional service, this bhakti yoga is like Susukham. Sukham means experiencing that happiness. Susukham. Su means it adds on. We experience simply happiness performing this devotional service. And I remember after his marriage, after 2-3 years, there was another marriage in the same house. Now sister's marriage, his sister marriage, means my Mosi marriage is happening. By that time I got little mature, I grew up. So now I am engaged in doing all the arrangements for the marriage. Day and night I am just engaged doing the work in the marriage. So what is happening? They are also happy. I am also happy being engaged. Oh, I have done this, I have done that, I have done this work, I have done that work. I am also happy. So same way, in this material world, mere renunciation of activities or the fruits will not help us to attain that supreme happiness or ultimate happiness or satisfaction in the life. If you want to experience the happiness or satisfaction in your life, it is very, very important. Whatever work you perform or do, it should be in relationship with Krishna. That is very important. We read the purport. There are two classes of sannyasi or persons in renounced order of life. The Mayavadi sannyasis are engaged in the study of Sankhya philosophy, whereas Vaishnava sannyasis are engaged in the study of Bhagavad philosophy, which affords the proper commentary on the Vedanta Sutras. The Mayavadi sannyasis also study the Vedanta Sutra but use their own commentary called Shariraka Bhashya, written by Shankaracharya. The students of Bhagavata schools are engaged in devotional service of the Lord according to Pancharatrika regulations, and therefore the Vaishnava sannyasis have multiple engagements in the transcendental service of the Lord. The Vaishnava sannyasis have nothing to do with the material activities, and yet they perform various activities in their devotional service to the Lord. But Mayavadi sannyasis engaged in the studies of Sankhya and Vedanta and speculation cannot release transcendental service to the Lord, because their study becomes very tedious and they sometimes become tired of Brahman speculation. Thus they take shelter of the Bhagavatam without proper understanding. Consequently, their study of Srimad Bhagavatam becomes troublesome. Dry speculations and impersonal interpretation by artificial means are all useless for Mayavadi sannyasis. The Vaishnava sannyasis who are engaged in devotional service are happy in discharge of their transcendental duties, and they have the guarantee of ultimate entrance into the kingdom of God. Mayavadi sannyasis sometimes fall down from the path of self-realization, and again enter into material activities of philanthropic and altruistic nature, which are nothing but material engagements. Therefore, the conclusion is that those who are engaged in Krishna consciousness are better situated than sannyasis engaged in simple Brahman speculation, although they too come to Krishna consciousness after many births. So here, there are two kinds of sannyasis. Earlier also we have read in some of the purports. One is Mayavada sannyasi, one is this Vaishnava sannyasi. Vaishnavas are those who are the devotees of Krishna or Vishnu, are basically known as Vaishnavas. Whereas Mayavadi sannyasis, they simply engage themselves in the speculation on mundane interpretation of the scriptures. And for them, Lord, that Supreme Personality of Godhead, has no form. Has no form. So what they do, whatever is mentioned in the scriptures, they try to interpret those things in such a way that it is not directing to a person. Person means not to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is personally present in a form, but to some kind of energy. Just like, for an example, if they read Bhagavad Gita, at various instances you will find Krishna is directly telling to me, Maya, me, my energy, surrender unto me, this, that. So various places Krishna is referring to himself, his own self. So how do they interpret that? They interpret that Mayavadi sannyasi, they interpret in such a way or speculate in such a way that he is not referring to himself. There is some energy is there inside Krishna. To that he is referring. Like that they interpretation. And they try to make offenses. By that they make offenses towards that Supreme Personality of Godhead. And a jiva who is situated on certain spiritual platform, he starts falling down. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Mayavada bhashya sunle hoile sarvanash. Just by hearing Mayavada philosophy, a person can be destroyed. His spiritual journey, his spiritual life can be destroyed. Once that spiritual life is destroyed, he has fallen down. Then what happens? Again, he take up activities, material activities, philanthropic activities, or such activities, rather than taking complete shelter of spiritual activities. He takes to some philanthropic activities. He try to engage for the welfare of the world rather than engaging in spiritual activities. This again and again he get entangled. Life after life, this thing goes on. Simply this thing is going on. But if by chance, by his good luck or fortune, if he gets an association of a devotee, he gets a chance to develop Krishna consciousness, to know who Krishna is, and he can come out of the cycle of birth and death and go back to Godhead. Go back to Godhead. So that's why a Vaishnava who is well aware, a Vaishnava is one who knows very well that Krishna or Vishnu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudevam Sarvamiti, and he engages himself in the service of that Vasudeva. Such Vaishnava, he can enter into the kingdom of God. The Vaishnava sannyasis who are engaged in devotional service are happy. They are happy also in discharge of their transcendental duties. When they discharge or when they perform their transcendental duties, they are happy and they have guarantee of ultimate entrance into the kingdom of Godhead. And they have this guarantee also. They have this guarantee. So the thing is, it is very, very important for us, even though renunciation, if we are situated in proper knowledge, if we renounce the things, then also we'll attain the supreme destination. Or if we fail to renounce or not fail, if we take up this path of Krishna consciousness or performing duties or work in devotion for the pleasure of Krishna, that is very much assured path to attain the supreme without any delay. Achieve the supreme without any delay. Guarantee is there. Even though another path of renunciation may take time, but that path will also culminates in the same, because after many birth only one will come to an understanding Vasudevam Sarvamiti Sahapadvatsu Dullabha. When such a person comes to this understanding that Vasudeva is all in all, Krishna is all in all, then he will be able to surrender. And when he surrenders, immediately he will attain the supreme destination without any delay. So with this, we will end here. Anyone has any questions or anything to share or ask, please feel free to share or ask. Any questions? Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki,
जय
Radha ki.
जय
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare
हरे
Krishna
कृष्ण
Prabhuji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु